information that you give you, but I can guarantee it is all objective A, B, C, D. Okay, no essay or no reading comprehension. Just they will use a Moet format. Okay, but I'm not sure the level of difficulty. So I try to actually teach you the strategies that you might use when you read during the test. Okay, so on the previous lesson, okay, I think I give you the pre-recorded. Okay, we have learned about scanning. Okay, scanning is very useful for you to find specific information, and then we have skimming, where you want to identify the main idea. Okay, you will use skimming, and then you have inferencing or making inference. Making inference is where you predict something by using your knowledge or your experience, and then what you get the information from the text, and then you combine it, and you will get you will conclude or predict something. All right, and then we have also learned about contextual clues. This is very important because of sometimes you have to guess the meaning. Okay, but not looking from the dictionary, because of course during the test you cannot refer to the dictionary, right? So you have to use the hints given. Okay, the information sometimes you can get before the sentences or after the sentences within the same paragraph. Okay, we call it contextual clues. And today we will look at another reading strategies. Okay, first we will learn on how to identify the details and example. Okay, second, differentiate or distinguish between fact from opinion. Okay, it's very important because of some information is just a fact and some of the information in the text is just opinion. So you need to know on how to differentiate between those two. And number three, we will learn on how to interpret author's intention, attitude, and style. Okay, because we need to know the purpose of author in writing the article. Okay, because we need to know the purpose, will it informative or persuasive or to entertain you as a reader. And last but not least, we will learn on how to compare and contrast the ideas. Compare means you find the similarities, and contrast is when you find the differences between ideas in the text. Okay, usually to answer this kind of question, you'll be given two texts, text 1 and text 2 in the reading exercises or reading tests. All right, we will go first. Okay, identifying example and detail. Okay, to do this skill, you need to first skim. Okay, skim the text to apply the skill. Skim means you need to find the main idea first. All right, and then you find the details, or I can say example, or maybe as an elaboration or explanation text, which summarize or support that main ideas, because the focus of this skill is to actually identify the example and detail. For skimming, the focus is to find the main ideas. That is different. Okay, but then they are quite similar, but the purpose is different. So example in question is like this, in Moet. Okay, paragraph 1, emphasize and explain about, about what about something which is the main idea. Okay, when you skim, which mean, so you need to elaborate. Okay, you need to find the detail from the text. Okay, this is actually how you can apply this skill. Well, maybe what are the factors below? Explain about the causes of air pollution. Okay, so the air pollution is actually main idea, and then the explanation or maybe the factors or the causes of air pollution is actually the detail or example that you need to find from the text. Okay, usually they will be given in the same paragraph. And last, which statement below support the claim of the main idea of the text. Okay, you have to find the statement from the text which support or summarize the main idea. Okay, so of course you need to skim, skimming, and then you find the identifying. You have to identify the example after do the skimming process. Okay, that one is a theoretical part, and this one is actually how the question that need you to actually use this skill. Okay, I give you some time. Okay, there are 2 questions to be answered. Okay, can you read it? Don't read the text first, but read the question and then find the answer from the text. That's the skimming, technique. Yeah. Okay, please read. Can you see the slide? Boleh nampak kan?
Please,
Alright, okay, cuba baca and then you read the question first and then read the reading text, reading paragraph. Fudan, yang kacau balik di kelas. I have class now. Go play with your brother. I have class now. I have class now. Okay, first question. The keyword is the differences between opera and also musical theater. I think you can find it in the line number 1 until maybe line number 4. Okay, focus on that. Number 2, you have to find the explanation of dramatic art form. Okay, dramatic art form is actually the main idea. So what is actually dramatic art form? So you will look at the detail of dramatic art form. Maybe you can find from the few last line. Okay. Did you get the answer or not?
dah, sir.
Okay, number 1. What is the answer? A, B, C or D?
A. B.
Oh, ada yang A, ada yang B, right? Okay, you look at the differences from opera and also musical theater, and it said what makes opera different from musical theater. You look at the line number 1. It said opera refers to dramatic art form originating in Europe, in which the emotional content is conveyed to the audience as much through music, both musical and instrumental, as it through the lyrics. Okay, so the keyword here is emotional content, and then they use music, whether vocal, instrumental. Okay, by contrast means different. Musical theater, the actor's dramatic performance is primary, and the music play a lesser role. Okay, cool. So I think the best answer for this one is actually B.
B, sir.
Because yes, B, because it talk about emotional performance is conveyed through songs lyric. And no, in the reading question, the answer is quite similar. You have to really focus on the keyword, so don't get you have to check because A is quite, maybe it could be the answer, but some say B, some say A, so I would say B. All right, okay, so number 2, dramatic art form can be explained as dramatic art form. Is it a vocal instrumental or libretto or songs lyric or symphonic orchestra? Dramatic art form. I think the first line said dramatic art form in which emotional content is conveyed through music, vocal, and instrumental. So it's quite straightforward. So A, B, C, or D?
C.
Anyone? Why C?
C is a song's lyrics because if we look at the question at slide number 2, it says convene to the audience as much through music, both vocal and instrumental, as it is through the lyrics.
Why don't you choose A?
I mean, sure, it could be A, but personally for me, I read the whole thing. It would be C.
Okay, good. The dramatic art form can be explained as. Okay, let me check first because I forgot the answer. Dramatic. Okay, because actually the answer could be in the first line number 1 or line number 2. Okay, art form originating which the emotional form is content conveyed to the audience as much through music. Okay, music, see the keyword, both vocal and instrumental. Songs lyric. I think yeah, could be C. Okay.
Libretto, sir.
Libretto pun ada juga. That's why I said they many. Why libretto?
Sebab yang ni, the part, however, the words of the opera or libretto are sung rather than spoken. Lepas tu yang kat atas tu yang ayat first je, opera refers to a dramatic art form.
Okay, some of you say B, some of you say C. Any other answers and your reason? This is actually the best part in reading because many answers. Yeah, but I interested with your friend said because of the word. However, the word of opera actually they define it opera or libretto, then define sung rather than spoken. So that's why he said libretto. Libretto mean you're singing, okay? You're singing not spoken. Okay. Could be B. Yeah, could be B. Any other answers? Song's lyric is maybe, but it just focus on lyric. But libretto, it focus more on the voice, yeah, because you sing. I think is B could be the best answer. Yeah, I think B could be the best answer. All right. Okay, can you agree? B would be the answer. Any objection?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay.
I think,
Okay.
yeah, it's libretto.
Yeah. Okay, we go to the next exercises. Okay, now is dolphin. Okay, the question is why dolphin community is more complex. Okay, that's the choices of answer. And then number 2, which statement prove that dolphin is the friendliest creatures based on the paragraph? Okay, can you try it? Again, find the keyword and then try to find from the text. Don't eat the text every single word. Because imagine you have no enough time, in doing the reading test because there are many paragraphs and many reading passages. Okay, so you need to apply the effective reading. I mean, fast reading, a skill. Okay, so the keyword here is more complex and dolphin community. Okay, you got answer? Number 1, why dolphins community is more complex than other animals?
D.
Yes. And any objection? I would say B because most of the action are similar to the human, even though it's not stated clearly or obviously in the text. But the way they explain, say they look after other dolphin when they are ill, care for pregnant mothers, blah blah blah. Itu adalah human punya lifestyle. So of course, human lifestyle is complex and complicated, and it exists in dolphins community. So I would say B lah. Okay, I would say B. Friendliest, other animal yang of course friendliest and intelligent like chimpanzee, right? Their own language, but action when compared to human, you can say is quite complex. Okay, number 2. Which statement that say that
D,
the
sir.
dolphin is D.
D, helping drowning sailors since Roman
D,
times.
sir.
Yes, yeah, D. D obviously because you can actually directly find the answer from there. Okay, so I think you have got the skill. Sometimes you have to look at the explanation to get the answers. Okay, this actually we call it identifying the example and detail. Many questions need these strategies or skill to answer in the test. Okay, before we go further, we go to the next skill, which is fact and opinion. How to differentiate fact and how to differentiate opinion. We'll look at this video first. Okay, kalau I terlebih masa, please tell me I takut I terlebih masa. But you ada kelas lepas ni? You have class of this? Ke tak ada?
No, sir. No.
Okay, I tried to finish this slide. Okay, look at this video first. Alright, in other words, what can I conclude from that video? Boleh dengar kan? So yang video tadi kan? Facts actually the truth. You know, the truth and maybe proven, okay, by experiment or maybe observation. Usually reading text which use fact, they use say like according to the research by Edwin Vitamini in which year, right? You know, scientists said that in 1988. Okay, it's very, they have a very concrete evidence. Okay, the fact have a concrete evidence, or maybe it is true. For example, say the sun set in the west. That the what's happening right now. All right. So you can deny it. Okay, this is a fact. But then opinion is actually personal belief, or maybe opinion, or maybe point of view, or maybe judgment, or how do you perceive? You know, the perception that you make, and of course it's not proven, cannot be proven. For example, like in reading, they use like the phrases like in my opinion, right? From my point of view, I believe, I feel, I think. Okay, the writer use I think. Basically, is actually opinion. So example in question that might be posed to you in read test maybe like which statement below explain about the fact of global warming. So what you can do is actually you find the sentences or the statement that use the concrete evidence based on the experiment or observation. Okay, the statement below clarify about author's view on what? Accept. Okay, so author's view mean what? View mean opinion. Okay, so accept mean you have to find the fact. Apart from that, okay, this is actually I want you to read each statement and I want you to decide whether this statement is fact or opinion. Okay, number 1 until number 6. Okay, maybe you can write, or maybe you can read and memorize your answer. Okay, number 1, the fastest and land-dwelling creature is the cheetah. Fact or opinion?
Fact.
Yeah, fact. Because of course, scientists have proved that cheetah is the fastest creature, you know, in the land. Okay, it's actually based on experiment. Okay, number 2, Michael Jordan has a career average of 30.4 points per game. Fact or opinion?
Fact.
Fact. Okay, this is actually fact. Okay, they have a very concrete evidence. George Washington was the first president of the United States under the Constitution.
Fact.
Fact. Number 4, the ugliest sea creature is the manatee.
Opinion.
Opinion.
Yeah, again, this is more to opinion because of you cannot prove that, and it's actually very subjective. Some people say maybe manatee. You know, manatee is dugong, you know, is the ugliest, but some say maybe other animal is the ugliest. So it's very hard. Okay, compared to cheetah, you can actually measure it. Okay, because it's the fastest. Number 5, Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player of all time. Fact or opinion?
Opinion.
Opinion, very good, because maybe some people say Michael Jordan is not the great, maybe other basketball player. Okay, so this is actually your belief. And last, they seem to be too much testing in public school.
Opinion.
Yeah, this is actually opinion.
Opinion.
Because when we do the test, you know, as we're talking about education in Malaysia, some people said there are too much testing, you know, for our kid. But some people said this is okay. So based on how people perceive it, I guess this is actually very easy. Okay, we look at the question. Yes. All right, it's about Little Poppy, and the question is, which sentence from the paragraph above is an opinion? And they have extracted all the sentences A, B, C, and D, and you just find which one is opinion, A, B, C, or D. A, my brother found. A is my brother found a little puppy in the middle of the street today. I think this is fact. Okay, and then he is the cutest puppy I have ever seen. Is it opinion or fact?
Opinion, sir.
Yes, this is actually opinion. C and D, I guess, is more to fact. Okay, because you can see it and it's already happening. But then B is actually, they ask your opinion whether this puppy is cute or not. Some people say this is maybe cute puppy. Some people say no, it's just ordinary puppy, right? So I guess it's very clear. You get the skill to 10 wrong. Okay, now we move to the third one on how to interpret author's intention. Intention mean apa niat dia nak tulis reading tu. As a reader, we need to know. Okay, because some people, when they read the reading text, okay, this actually want to educate me, want to inform me something. If you read the tabloid or newspaper, you know, especially that related to political party, maybe they want to campaign or they want to persuade or convince you to choose or to vote for them. Or maybe you want to read, so you read the pamphlet of a certain company, they are selling the product. Maybe they want to convince you to actually buy the product. Okay, or maybe when you read novel, the purpose of the reader is just to entertain you. Okay, so we look at this video and try to understand what is actually how to interpret author's intention in reading. Okay, differently from the first text, these men talk about informative. Informative, they want to just inform. Usually they'll give everything and use more many facts statement, many factual statement. But then in persuasive reading text, persuasive reading text use more argument. Basically, they will use first they will give a problem, problem, so on and so on, and then they will provide you with a solution. Maybe they want, okay, this product is the best to overcome the problem. This product or these services you need when you have this kind of problem, and then they will conclude that this is actually the best product you should buy. Okay, this one is what we call persuasive, because they want to convince. So I must say, for persuasive, they a little bit biased, little bit, especially you talk about political party, mass media, uh, and advertisement, right? Okay, we continue. Okay, last but not least is actually the reading tag that aim to entertain you. Actually, is very you have your time, and then the reading tag doesn't have intention to inform you like a very heavy reading text, but then or to persuade you, but then you just want to you need you to appreciate, so to know the character, to know the setting, the conflict in the novel, for example, or maybe short story, or maybe poem, or the song's lyric. They don't have any intention to inform or persuade you, but just let the reader explore and try to understand what they try to tell in their work. Okay, so I guess that's it. Okay, intention, actually the purpose of the writer, and you can find from the thesis statement or maybe the conclusion, and from that you can actually determine whether this text is to inform, to convince, or to entertain. Okay, so from the conclusion or maybe from the introduction or thesis statement that you find from that. Thesis statement you can find from the first paragraph. Conclusion, of course, is the last paragraph. All right. Attitude is through the tone. Sometimes we when read, we can actually determine whether the author tried to be positive or negative or maybe neutral. Okay, positive mean every words that they use is usually portray the positivity. Okay, negative, negativity. But for neutral, when the author bring both side, positive side and negative side, and they conclude. Okay, usually in informative type of reading tag, they will use a neutral. For persuasive, they will choose whether positive or negative. Okay, even though the fact is maybe not reflect what they are doing. Okay, usually a political, of course, the tabloid, the political party speeches, they use the kinds of they're a little bit biased, bias, I might say bias. All right, style refer to sentence use. So the word choices, usually if you want to bring something negative, you use the negative words, or you want to be more positive, you use positive word. All right, same like sentences. Okay, so example, how you are tested to use this skill is like this. Okay, the authors feel that, so we want you to evaluate, not evaluate, we want you to think how authors think about the issues discussed in the reading text. Okay, the article is biased to the issue raised in the text because, okay, biased because of he or she bring the issues and he tend to just agree to something that he or she likes. Okay, for example, he talked about pollution, blah, 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 but then he said pollution is maybe good because of they want to develop the industry, economy, and so on. So because of maybe he tend to support or agree with the industry, so he just forgot about the pollution. So instead, pollution is okay, okay, as long as they control it. Okay, so it's a little bit biased. Okay, the writer should, if they write informative, they should bring a neutral tone, yeah, neutral attitude in the text. If they try to be biased, basically is a persuasive, right? Or maybe the writer conclude that, so you will directly go to the conclusion and try to understand what the author tried to tell you, okay, and so on. Okay, can you read this reading paragraph? Reading passage is about treadmill. The first question is, how would you describe this author's attitude to the treadmill? First, and second, which phrase or sentences show that the author felt unpleasant or unhappy? It is quite challenging for some because they do directly use the word, because you have to, this actually you need to make an inference, yeah, make inference. For question number one, you can just conclude from the first few lines, yeah. Okay, number one, what do you think? Is it A, B, C, or D? Anyone? The treadmill began to whir, and I gripped its handlebar as the belt started moving me backwards. Okay, that one pun dah you dah tahu lah what is actually their attitude. Okay, they tried to be sarcastic, you know. All I could do now was run or begrudgingly move forward toward an outdated screen that showed me the terrain I was supposed to be running on. So how do you describe the attitude of the author?
Unpleasant.
Yes, very clearly unpleasant. Dia macam be very sarcastic. You know, they use the word like apa outdated, you know, begrudging word and so on. So they use a negative word, even though it's actually just they use a treadmill. Okay, what about number two? Which statement or sentences that show the author felt unpleasant? Clearly, yeah. Focus on the words choice that the author choose. A, B, or C?
C.
Yes, C. Okay, which word do you think show the negativity of the author or unpleasantness?
He tried to picture them as burning coals to see if that will make me speed up or at least feel like this exercise was somehow connected to nature. Yang mungkin dia pernah bekerja dekat coal mining.
Yeah, very good. And then he said very clearly, he said cruel parts. Okay, when you anggap benda tu cruel, it's actually you dah assume it as a negative, symbolize your feeling on the object. Okay, very good. So it's not easy, you know, when you try to actually kita panggil try to interpret author's intention or author's feeling or author's attitude to a certain issue. Okay, ni pula same question but then different different passage, but quite similar question. Describe the author's attitude toward the treadmill, and then the which phrase that help you to understand the author's attitude towards treadmill.
The first one would be excited.
Yeah. We have ambitious, excited, happy, comfortable. Why do you say excited?
Because in line number 2, you would see I had just selected power run. A sleek screen with a simple set of red lines showed me the terrain in which I was running. Those red lines looked like a pulse, and they got me to run farther and faster than I could ever run when I'm outside.
Yes. Okay, even though it's just an ordinary treadmill, but then it assumed as a power run machine, what I don't know. So it showed the excitedness, this author is very excited. Okay, which word in question number 2, which word that help you to understand the attitude of the author? A, B, or C? Of course, the positivity lah, because you talk about excited then. A, B, or C? A, very good. Speed up,
sir.
faster, power run, and farther or further. Okay, so it shows that the positive word that the author choose. Okay, I guess you are okay with that. I think this skill is quite difficult because you need to conclude and interpret. It's not that easy word, yeah. Okay, no, it's not easy skill that you can apply, but you can do that when you keep doing exercising. Okay, and last but not least, okay, kita nak habis dah ni. We have compare and contrast. Compare mean when you find the similarities or persamaan. Contrast mean when you find differences. Okay, usually you will work with 2 tag or 3 tag or 4 tags. Okay, dia akan bagi text 1, text 2. Usually 2 tags lah. Okay, tapi tak tahu mungkin bagi 3 tags. Okay, reading text. Example in question, the 2 articles suggest that combating global warming requires, so you kena baca first tag, second tag, and find the similarities. Second question, first article is different from second article. Okay, so they requires you to find differences. Apa yang berbeza? Maybe they discuss the same issue, but then you have to find the differences. Okay, kita tengok the soalan. Contoh soalan Okay, this is actually just a metaphor of the compare and contrast. Okay, look here. In the blue circle we have fish, and in the red circle we have whale. Two different species, but then in the same group actually. Okay, how they are different? Fish lay eggs, have scale and breathe water, but whale have hair, live birth and breathe air. Okay, not breathe water. But then how they are similar? Okay, both of them live in water. Okay, have fin, and both of them can swim. So yang tengah-tengah in the middle is actually the similarities, and yang kat luar tu is actually differences. Okay, inilah contoh very classic example yang you can actually relate to the reading. Of course, when we go to reading, dia akan jadi macam ni lah. Ni contoh We have 2 different texts, okay? And then second question. Okay, who is the most beautiful? One day, when the queen asked her mirror, mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the land is fairest of all? It answered, you, my queen, are fair. It is true, but Snow White is 1,000 times fairer than you. So who is the most beautiful? This is actually I'm taking from a storytelling.
B.
Snow White.
Of course, Snow White. Kalau you tak baca pun, you dah tahu this story kan, yang apa Snow White with dia punya stepmother, right? So Snow White. Tapi sebenarnya kalau in a real reading, you have to compare. You can read the information and try to find the compare and contrast lah. Okay, what about second question? Ini lebih relate dengan compare and contrast. Mary and Tracy are compared. Maksudnya apakah persamaan dia? Apakah persamaan mereka? Mary and Tracy. Okay, they are twin sisters, 14 years age. Many things they are theme common. Okay, both of them love to listen to music. But then Mary like inspirational and Tracy like hip hop. Okay, both will attend Mount Washington. So they are compared because they
Like math and science.
because they let both of them like math science. Is it in which line? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think line 10. Okay. Mary wants to be an astronaut when she is older, so she studies a lot of maths and science. Tracy wants to become a so she studies math and science also. So math and science is actually similar. So the is whether they have a different emission, but they like the same subjects. Oh, yeah, same subject. Any other answers? No? Betul tak tu? Number C. Correct or not?
Correct.
Okay, ini maksudnya dia information yang you kena compare, yang you kena cari find similarities in the same passage. Kita tengok yang different text. Macam ni. We have text 1 and text 2. Okay. And you kena baca dua-dua lah. Because the first text focuses more on the rain. Whereas the second text focus on what? Okay, number 2, both text inform about what? Okay, so first question, you have to find the differences, and the second question, you have to find the similarities of the issue discussed. Okay, cuba baca. Okay, got an answer? You have to read carefully text 1 and text 2.
For text 1 is C.
The destruction.
Yes.
Okay, very good. What about number 2? How they are similar? Both of them tells about what?
The hurricane's destruction.
Yeah, the hurricane destruction. Because yang ni dia tak ada, kalau people injuries, ini tak ada, text tu tak ada. They more to destruction on the facility, not the people. Tapi kat sini maybe ada. Alright, windy and breezy situation, of course salah lah. Trees and houses damages, dia sebut secara umum, dia tak sebut secara detail some of the text. So the best is actually hurricane destruction. Okay, the conclusion today. Kenapa tak keluar? Keluar dekat you punya ada keluar tak?
We only see the conclusion, that's it, sir. The word conclusion, that's it.
Alright, so conclusion, I can conclude that we have learned about 4 skills today, or 4 strategies. First is identifying the skills, identifying the details in order to understand the text. Second is to do compare and contrast, we just have learned now. And then fact and opinion. Satu lagi apa interpret author's intention by looking at the purpose of the text, whether it's informative, persuasive, ataupun to entertain the reader. It's very, very important because of through the tone kita akan tahu apakah the real intention of the author. Okay, so before I dismiss, any other question you want to ask? I try buat pre-recorded tapi tak berjaya because I don't know microphone. Tapi bila I buat live, okay microphone I. So kita jumpa hari Sabtu kan? Hari Sabtu kita kelas, I think online lah, kita buat online lah senang. Okay, do you have anything to ask? Okay, ada yang tanya me about your project. Perlu tak hantar, do you need to actually storyboard kan? I think siapa?
Yes.